What's up, guys? Classy Metal here with a very special edition of Classy Metal Approved. This is an episode that is very close to my heart. First and foremost, I want to thank every single one of you that are watching this video, every single one of you that supports this channel. Without you guys, there would be no Classy Lonnie Metal. There would be no Classy Metal Approved. There would be no Tennessee Metal Devastation Music Fest Press Pass that was bestowed upon me by Raven and Zach from Metal Devastation PR, the two driving forces behind Metal Devastation Music Fest. Those two sacrificed so much to put this festival on. I owe them eternal thanks. This was one of the better days that I've had in recent memory. I've been a little slow getting this video out just for the simple fact that I don't feel like I'm going to do this festival justice. I don't feel like I'm going to do these bands justice and give them the credit that they deserve for putting this festival together, participating in this festival, and making it such a huge success. I'm a huge advocate for this. If you are in driving distance, even if you're not, make a trip. If you are in driving distance of Jackson, Tennessee, I believe that's where they're going to have it again next year. I definitely am a huge advocate for you making that trip and going to this. It is a fun time. I had such a great time. This year I was in a much better headspace than I was last year for the festival. I actually got out, met people, chatted people up, and it was just a truly great time. Speaking of meeting people, I'm just going to jump into this. I have a huge merch haul that I'll show you guys that I picked up from this festival. I'm going to kind of talk about each and every band that played as well. There's a little bit for everybody. There's a lot of different genres of heavy rock, a lot of different genres of metal, all coming together, and just putting a little bit out there for everyone, so everyone had something that they enjoyed as far as the music being played, the vendors, the food. There was so much going on. I will try to touch on every aspect of it as I can. I got to meet Chris from Metal-O-Mania. Again, he was the MC this year. It's always a pleasure to get to rub elbows with other YouTubers, and a lot of times something like this is like the only chance you get to meet some of these people throughout the year, and it's nice to kind of catch up. Didn't get to talk to Chris as much as I would have liked to, but it's always a pleasure to meet him. I met Cody, one of the artists. He's going to be featured, his artwork, in the newest issue of Morgue magazine, so it was a pleasure to get to meet him. Speaking of Morgue magazine, I got to meet Reaper. This is Reaper right here. Had him sign actually the Corners playlist for the latest issue of Morgue magazine. He was there, kind of networking as well, meeting bands, taking pictures, getting interviews lined up, all that good stuff. Tommy Stewart from Black Doomba Records. I met him last year, met him again this year, got to talk to him for a little while. He gave me he told me a really awesome Peter Steele story. We were kind of talking about some of the bands that were playing at the festival, some of the bands we enjoyed. Tommy and I actually talked for a little while. It was nice to kind of get inside of his head a little bit. The Peter Steele story was pretty funny because Tommy, a lot of times I will say when people meet me at things like this, they are taken aback with how large I am. I catch people off guard. I'm well over 6 feet tall. I probably weigh 250 plus, and it doesn't always come across just from me sitting down on a YouTube channel. A lot of people have trouble kind of recognizing me when they see me in person, just because I am so large. They're just like, wow, wasn't expecting it. Not larger than life personality. I'm much more subdued in real life than I am on this channel for the most part. I'm very laid back. I have social anxiety, as most of you know, which is kind of weird with me being as large as I am. You would think that I'm just super extroverted and right out there, but I'm not. But anyway, back to Tommy. Tommy was telling me a Peter Steele story about how tall Peter Steele was, and the first time that he met him, and Peter Steele was actually in Carnivore at the time. Tommy, for those of you that aren't familiar with Tommy, he was in Hallows Eve He did bass and then eventually did bass and vocals for Hallows Eve, and now he runs Black Doomba Records. He's also in Tommy Stewart's Dire Wolf. I know he's been a part of some other projects as well. I got a Black Doomba sticker there. I will have a video up about Black Doomba Records a little bit down the road. I have some other stuff I need to record first, but that one is coming. I went ahead and picked up the Hallows Eve Tales of Terror reissue, and Tommy was nice enough to sign that for me after we talked for a little while. He gave me this funny story about Peter Steele. Tommy was playing in Hallows Eve at the time. This was back when Peter Steele was still in Carnivore, and he said that he was playing and there was a guy. Tommy was standing up on the stage, and Tommy's a little bit shorter than me, but he was up, I'm sure the stage had a little bit of a rise, and he was standing there, and there was this guy that was still just face to face with him while he's playing, and that looked like a vampire, and turned out it was Peter Steele. There was much more to the story than that. I can't retell it the way that Tommy did, but it was pretty fun. It's something I enjoyed. You guys know I love Typo and Peter Steele. Before I get into the stuff that I got from the bands, I also picked up this Metal Devastation Music Fest t-shirt. It's just kind of got the Metal Devastation logo. It has the Death Train there on the back. I know if you're not super familiar with Jackson, there's a thing about Casey Jones, the train engineer. He apparently sacrificed his life to save a lot of people. I don't know the whole story, but they have a little museum and stuff. So the trains in Jackson, Tennessee kind of go hand in hand. I enjoyed this year having the festival at the Amp in Jackson. I think it was a perfect kind of venue set up for this festival. Everything just kind of aligned for the stage, for the vendors where they were set up. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Last year was fun as well in Beach Lake, but I just feel like the Jackson home for this festival is going to grow exponentially that way. So the bands, let's get into the music. I'm always fashionably late. You guys, the only time that I'm not late for anything is when I have to leave work and drive to Memphis for a concert. I get to those early, but anything else, I'm usually just a tad bit fashionably late. I was very late to the festival last year and actually missed some bands. I did not miss anybody this year. I got there just as Gunpowder Plot. They are kind of a punk rock, kind of a metal-infused punk rock band out of Memphis. They were in the middle of their set when I arrived. I didn't get to hear all of it, but I really liked what I heard, and the fact that they're from Memphis, I'm sure that I'm going to see them live at some point with all the trips that I make to Memphis to see them live. But they're kind of just this punk rock / metal hybrid, and it sounded really good. I'm going to try to find something from each of the bands, put it down in the description. I'm also going to try to link up Metal Devastation PR for you guys. Anything that I can find of interest and anything that stood out to me at this festival will be down there in the description at you guys' disposal. That way you can check it out if you would like to. But Gunpowder Plot, I enjoyed them. I believe they were a 3-piece band from what I got to see. I was still in the process of trying to set up my little chairs and everything while they were playing. I wish I could have gotten there a little earlier and got to catch their whole set, because I think I would have enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed the song or so that I got to hear from them, but I'm going to look up. I know they have some stuff on Spotify, but I will try to find some more of their material and link it up down in the description, and I will be listening to it myself as I'm doing that. The first band that really stood out to me that I absolutely kind of fell in love with was this kind of black and stoner doom band out of Detroit. Temple of the Fuzz Witch is their name, and I am looking forward to seeing where this band goes. I think there's going to be some pretty big things in store for Temple of the Fuzz Witch. I picked up a couple of their CDs. I picked up their live and unreleased. This is a very DIY release. This was actually the last one of these that they had, so I went ahead and just grabbed it because I figured as much as I like the live set that this band put on, I would probably never have a chance to pick this up if I didn't pick it up then, so I went ahead and grabbed that. The full length, I guess it may be a their first release, technical like big release, Red Tide. This is phenomenal. They had this on vinyl as well. I wish I could have gotten the vinyl, but at this point, finances are kind of become an issue because you guys saw that I've already showed a shirt and 2 CDs now, and we have quite a bit of stuff to go through. I spent a ton of money, but at some point I would like to get that vinyl copy of Red Tide, because this is a phenomenal release, and I was floored by how much I like this band. If you're into just fuzzy, if you're into stoner doom with that black and kind of occult hinge going on, I think you'll be into Temple of the Fuzz Witch. Fantastic band, definitely one of the standouts, and a super good surprise. I'm very glad that I got to catch them. I would have hated myself if I had been as late as I was last year and did not get to see Temple of the Fuzz Witch play. Next up, we had a Georgia kind of thrash / rock and roll hybrid band playing. This was Crazy Mad Ride. They were very fun. I didn't pick up any merch from them either, unfortunately. I would like to hear a little bit more of their material. Towards the end of their set, I actually was starving, and I missed some of it because I was at the taco truck getting some birria tacos that were absolutely phenomenal, and then I went to the Logan's food truck and got a hamburger, and then I ate so much food, guys. Like, it was in my head that this year I was going to slim down and look good going into this festival. This year I've already gained 20 pounds back of the weight that I lost, and I'm sure I probably gained a good 5 to 6 pounds just the day of the festival because I ate all day long. I'm not going to get into everything that I ate, but they had food vendors, food trucks set up, and I hit almost all of them. And I think this was 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I'm still bloated out from it. So, but anyway, Georgia thrash, rock and roll, Crazy Mad Ride. They put on a very good, a very fun kind of set. They definitely. At this point, the crowd wasn't huge yet, but they were able to interact with the crowd, get in the crowd, and really bring the people that were into the set kind of into that stage show, and that was something awesome. Next up, a band you guys know that I love. I saw Gravehuffer again. Gravehuffer will be playing in April at a Morgue kind of day festival going on at Growlers in Memphis, so I am looking forward to seeing them there as well. I have every Gravehuffer album already. I have the Your Fault. I think that's an EP. Maybe the first album. I can't. Brain rot going on right now. Necro Eclosion, fantastic release. And then Depart from So Much Evil, the newest full length, was absolutely phenomenal. I have all of them on CD. I have the first on tape. So I just went ahead. I wanted to support the band. I already have Gravehuffer shirts and stuff. So I've just picked up a vinyl of their second full-length, Necro Eclosion. Fantastic release. I love the splatter that was on this particular vinyl. It's kind of this green with a black splatter. Looks super sick. So I definitely wanted to add that one into the vinyl collection. You guys have seen me adding more vinyl and tapes and stuff into the collection lately. So I figured that was a good spot. I was able to support the band that way. This was also released on Black Doomba Records, Tommy Stewart's label. And as I was saying earlier, we'll get more into Black Doomba Records in a future video. Killer release from Gravehuffer. They always put on a fun set. You get jokes, you get some good music. If I was to try to describe Gravehuffer's sound, I'm going to try it now, but it's almost impossible to peg those guys down. You get a mix of crust punk, doom is there, like sludgy doom, crust punk, grindcore. I know it sounds a little weird, kind of mixing all those together, but they make it work. They even have some thrash elements going on in their music as well. The Depart from So Much Evil full length that just came out, that one is a very ambitious endeavor. They have a really long track to close that one out that's divided into 3 parts, and I love that album. So if you haven't checked out their newest full length, I definitely recommend that. I recommend pretty much everything that they've done. Necro Eclosion is good, as well as the Your Fault debut. Next up, a band that I was absolutely floored by. I had not heard this band going into the festival. Some of these I checked out ahead of time. This is one that I didn't have kind of huge hopes for. You guys know that I'm hit or miss with kind of thrash, and this band blew me away. This is one of those bands that I feel like is going places. I feel like that this band is going to blow up. You're going to wish that you had been along for the ride from the beginning. That is the band Repent with their debut full-length, The Reckoning. This came out this year, self-released by the band. This is some very heavy thrash metal. This is, I mean, it's weird. It's kind of hard to describe that, saying heavy thrash metal, but this just hit so hard. I was floored by this. I was floored by their stage show. They blew it away. If you ever have a chance to see these guys live, I definitely recommend you catch them live. You will probably see them playing at this point in support of someone else, and they have a strong chance of stealing the show and being the best act that you see live. They pull it off very, very well. They gave me a sticker as well when I purchased the CD, but definitely, if you're into any type of thrash metal, I highly urge you to check out the band Repent if you have not heard them already. Even if you're into some of the more extreme genres of metal and you kind of delve into thrash here and there like I do, this is a band you're going to want to check out, because as far as thrash goes, it is very heavy. Doesn't quite get into like death metal, but it's kind of got them early vibes, them early death metal vibes going on, but killer stuff there. If you haven't heard band Repent, you're doing yourself a disservice, just like I was before I ever checked them out. Next up, we have some groove metal out of Georgia. This is some sleazy stuff, and I fell in love with this. I should not like this band as much as I do. I feel dirty kind of listening to some of their stuff, but I absolutely loved them. It was my New Year's resolution this year to be more sleazy, and listening to stuff like that is the best way listening to stuff like this, I should say, is the best way to do it. We have Tombstone Blue with their full length entitled Unbound. I picked this one up. This is the one that I've spent the most time with. As you can tell, it has that southern groove metal vibe going on strong with this. I mean, they have songs about screwing your mom and everything. So Tombstone Blue, it was fun. They kind of caught me off guard. My wife made the connection. She said that it was kind of a mix of when the singer gets into the full-fledged, it's kind of hard, but has some stained Aaron Lewis vibes, and I felt like he like mixed in with Kurt from Crowbar. So I don't know if that's just because of the way he looked or what. But then I also picked up their Something More release. As you can see, it is rated R because that is just some sleazy southern groove metal. But I really like that. That is another one of those surprise bands, as were a lot of these that I enjoyed much more than I expected to, because I usually go for the more extreme stuff, but I was finding stuff all from the get-go that I liked. So I love the process that they go through picking these bands. You get some high quality underground stuff going on. So kudos to Zach and Raven for the bands that they chose for this festival. Next up, another band this band is out of Corinth, Mississippi, which isn't far from me. They do a lot. I've seen them on the bill for a lot of shows in Memphis. I've never seen them live, so the fact that they play in Memphis so much, and they've played with a lot of bands that I do enjoy. I just haven't had the chance to see these guys yet, and they were much better than I anticipated as well. This is the Red Mountain with their full length entitled Alpha. They put on a killer set. I actually hadn't picked up anything from them, and then I saw their live show and I was like, you know what, I gotta go grab something from these guys. They are kind of a hard rock. They have that metal feel going on as well. They kind of delve back and forth between hard rock and heavy metal, but this is one of those, I just froze up, so hopefully we don't lag too bad on the video. But this kind of has that feel of something that you could hear on like Sirius radio, on like Octane maybe. I think that's the channel. And it definitely has that vibe. It's a very accessible band, but I was very impressed. They handled themselves very well. They put on a killer set, and I had to go pick up something. Now, why it won't be something that I reach for all the time, because usually I'm wanting something extreme. There are times when I want to reach and listen to something like this, and it will definitely fit that bill. Next up, the band that I was probably going into this, tied with another band that I was most excited to see for the very first time. It is a band that I fell in love with, I think it was last year or the year before, when their debut full-length, Echoes from Deep November, came out. This is Fires in the Distance. I already owned this on CD, but I wanted to support this band because I love them so much. This is their Air Not Meant For Us full length that came out this year. Spoiler alert, this album will be on my end of the year list. I love this band. What can I say? They are melodic doom death metal on this kind of red galaxy looking vinyl. It looks gorgeous in person. They pulled it off. I was anxious, I guess is the word to say, to see if they were going to be able to pull off this sound live with the keyboards, and but it sounded so good, and it was getting to the point. It wasn't quite dark yet. We were kind of closing in where it was getting a little overcast, and it looked like it was going to start getting dark, but it wasn't quite dark yet. But just the fact that the sun was starting to tone down, went along with their set pretty nicely. Take a swig. I'm stumbling over my words. And then my wife actually liked this band a lot as well. She bought us both long sleeves. I've been trying to up my long sleeve game, and she got us both these Fires from the Distance. And when she's purchasing merch, you know it's a band that is really good, especially when she's buying me some. So I am appreciative to her getting me that long sleeve. Next up, another band that I was super excited to see live. In this general portion of the country, you don't get to see true black metal perform live very often. And Bloodstained Dusk out of Alabama was playing, and I've liked this band pretty much. I think it was 2008 when what was the name of the album? Black Faith Inquisition came out. I think it was around 2008. That was the album that kind of hooked me in for Bloodstained Dusk, and I was very surprised that this band there wasn't a pushback, I guess, against this band playing at this festival, because the Christian folk haven't been super supportive of this festival either year that it's come through. They kind of pushed back, I think, more last year with it being in a kind of rural area. There was some pushback this year in Jackson, but nothing like last year. But Bloodstained Dusk, man, they came out in the corpse paint, and they were absolutely phenomenal. I love Bloodstained Dusk. I had to pick up the shirt for the newest EP. I think it was entitled Deadlights Beckon Me. I should have known that. Came out digitally through Black Lion Records earlier this year. I'm hoping that there's going to be a physical release for that EP, because I definitely want to get my hands on it. If it does, I like that artwork. It was my first Bloodstained Dusk t-shirt, so I was stoked to see them live finally, and kind of have some memories tied up with that band now, and the fact that I got to see them live, got to see the corpse paint. And it was an awesome experience. And with it being Bloodstained Dusk and the sun going down as they played their set, just worked out phenomenally. Maybe they Zach and Raven had that set up and timed just right, because they probably looked to see when the sun would probably be setting and all that good stuff. I don't know, maybe it was just coincidence. But and then one of the members from Bloodstained Dusk, the drummer, is in another project, and they had a live, I guess a fill-in live member that's kind of the driving force behind another project that didn't play at the festival, but I picked up a CD from them. It's a band called Lenax. This is their Purity EP that came out this year. Fantastic black metal / kind of black and roll a little bit going on this. I want to get a little deeper into this later, but if you're into, there's a heavy dark funeral influence going on with Lenax, and I loved this EP. So definitely, hopefully, in the very near future, I'm waiting on some stuff to come in for another video that I'm currently thinking about putting together. But I like this EP enough that I wanted to throw it in and make sure it at least got a mention through this. I will have them linked down in the description so you can check them out as well. But if you're into black metal, you like dark funeral, it's not quite dark funeral worship, but the influence is definitely there, then definitely check out some Lenax. I got a sticker from that band too, but I don't know what I did with it, so it's not on anything yet. I thought I had it in here for, maybe I put it inside no, I don't know where it is, but if I come across it before the end of the video, we'll backtrack and I'll show it to you guys. Next up, going from cult black metal to deathcore. That's one of the things for this, I was saying, for this festival, is you have a little bit for everybody. And for me, being a fan of all different facets of metal, a festival like this is absolutely perfect. This is a deathcore band that the vocals really stand out to me on this. They are just vicious vocals. The frontman for this band doesn't really buy into media. He's kind of anti-media. I don't know if he would even really like me giving him props in this video, but his vocal attack was just absolutely insane. It's a super aggressive style of deathcore, almost rap-like vocals at times, but I enjoyed this band much more. With me not being the biggest deathcore person all the time, this is another one of those bands that I ended up enjoying their set more than I anticipated. The band that I'm talking about is a band out of Clarksville, Tennessee. This is Autumn Lies Buried. And I saw this shirt, and I wanted it from the get-go because it had the Volunteer State Hate on the back. With me living in Tennessee, you have all of these weirdos that are super big into college football and love the Tennessee Volunteers. And this it just seemed fitting for Tennessee. So I had to get my hands on that shirt. I knew I wanted that before I even heard the first note that band played. And fortunately, I did enjoy them quite a bit, enough that I picked up 2 of their releases. This one is entitled Aristocracy. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know how I ever started doing videos with my limited verbal skills. Killer stuff here. I like this one quite a bit. The very kind of socially influenced topics going on that they tackle on these releases, especially stuff that like racially social topics, the kind of police and politics, but they tackle some tough issues, we'll just say that. And then I picked up the Delusion of the New World Kings EP, 6 tracks. It's kind of hard to find Autumn Lies Buried full length, so I'm glad not full length, physical releases. So I'm glad I picked those up at the show because I know they're not available on the Bandcamp and stuff. I know Ryan over at Metal Viking 82 asked me how I was able to get those CD copies, because he didn't even know that they had physicals out. And he reached out to the band, and they were able to get him some that way. So, very cool to have those on a physical format. Next up, Summoner Circle. They did play last year at Tennessee at the Metal Devastation Festival. This is the time of the video, I've been going for 30 minutes now, that it would be a good time for me to edit, to take a little break, because stuff is getting the scrambled eggs up in my brain, but we're gonna push through this. Summoner Circle. If you're not familiar with them, they are kind of a blend of doom metal, death metal, black metal. They're able to kind of fuse those different genres pretty seamlessly together. I enjoy their material quite a bit. I picked up their Tome. Funny enough, I always pronounce Tome and I was corrected by one of the band members that it is Tome. I haven't opened this because this is their Tome release. I think this is the one that the band put out themselves. I already own this. Their Become None album is pretty much this note for note. So that's why I haven't opened this yet. And they told me that before I purchased it, because I told them I already owned the other 2 CDs that they had available. But I wanted to support the band. I like supporting bands that I really, really enjoy. So I went ahead and grabbed that. You guys know I'm collector scum, so I had to get something. This one I bought last year. This is their newest full length that came out in 2021, entitled Chaos Vector. That's one I definitely think you guys should check out if you haven't heard it. Then they released a special edition shirt for this festival. Some of the pushback last year from the far right Christian people that did not want this festival to go on were afraid that this was going to open a portal to hell, and they made a shirt that says "Open the Portal." So the fact that they were able to tie that pushback into a merch item, I had to grab it. I mean, it was a no-brainer for me to get that. I love that shirt. I love some of their circles, so definitely check them out if you have not done so. They're also from Tennessee. They're from the other side of the state. They're over, I think, around Knoxville is where that band came from to play this festival. And then Raven Black. I know there are some of you that are huge fans of Raven Black. They were the next to last band that played. If you're not familiar with them, they are kind of a shock rock theatrical metal act. They put on a very good stage show, as did Summoner Circle. The theatrics that those two bands put on such a small stage there at the Amp was, even with the wind blowing, it was starting to rain a little bit, and they were able to pull that off quite awesomely. Raven Black, I see the hype. I see why so many people are kind of into that band. Fortunately, I didn't grab any merch from them. I was running low on funds, but I can see why some of you really do like that band as much as you do. As I said, they're kind of shock rock. I felt like some Marilyn Manson influences going on through that, and I love Mechanical Animals era Marilyn Manson, and that's what I got a vibe for from Raven Black. And then finally, the last band that played, Casket Robbery. I grabbed this shirt last year when I saw them. They had a special edition shirt this year that was made just for this Tennessee Metal Devastation Music Fest. So I had to get that shirt. I had to buy something from that band. They're kind of a death metal. They teeter that line into brutal death metal, which is so funny because you meet Megan, the vocalist for Casket Robbery, outside of her performing, and she's like the nicest, most like soft-spoken person that you would ever think that you're going to meet. And then all of a sudden she gets up on stage and she just transforms. Something takes over her, and she's able to these gutturals come out and these screams. And Casket Robbery, I said it last year, I mean, that band, they're going to continue growing. They're building a worldwide fan base, and I'm glad that I've been along from the ride from the get-go and following this band. Fantastic. I had such a great time at this festival. Once again, thank you so much, Zach and Raven, for putting this together. I met some awesome people. I said I met Chris over at Metal-O-Mania. I met him last year. It's nice to see him every year, especially when he's emceeing these events. Sara from Savage Ladies of Metal, Sarah's Diary of Metal. I got to meet her. Cody, I'm looking forward to seeing your stuff on Morgue on the next issue. Reaper, I appreciate you signing the CD. Tommy, same goes to you. Black Doomba Records, I love what you're doing over there with that label. I know I'm leaving some people out. James, contest winner that I hand delivered the box O Metal to. It was nice meeting you as well. I know that there's so much. It's been time I've slept since this festival, many sleeps, and after the festival, I ate all that food. Funny story. We went to IHOP and I ate a stack of chocolate pancakes, and I got home. I didn't know if I wanted to throw up, go to sleep, or run circles around the house because I think I'm still on that sugar high. There's a very loud truck going by, so that means I need to wrap this video up. Hopefully, I know I said this last year. I said it again as soon as I left the festival this year. Hopefully next year I will be in a place where I can get some merch going, hand out to you guys that want to come up and talk to me and stuff at the festival. So stay tuned for that. It's a slow process. Money's tight, all that good stuff. Maybe I could not buy some albums for a month or two and buy some merch. I would probably be filthy rich, but you guys know as well as I do that ain't happening. So love the festival. Looking forward to it again next year. All that good stuff. I'm signing out. Stay classy, stay metal, all that good stuff. You guys have a great week, and I will see you very soon. I promise.